Think about this. Right now, there are miles of cables snaking across the pitch-black floor of the Atlantic Ocean, pulsing with every text, trade, and cat video on Earth. More than 5 billion people are plugged into a single invisible web that fundamentally changed how humans exist.
It's basically our modern oxygen, but if you ask me who actually owns it or where the master switch is, I'd have no clue. Is there even a boss of the internet?
That's the wild part. There isn't. It's a network of networks with no central throne. Today we're digging into how a Cold War research project turned into a global nervous system that effectively killed the 20th century.
All right, let's go back. This didn't just pop out of Steve Jobs' garage, right? Where does the internet actually start?
We have to head back to the 1960s. Back then, if you wanted to use a computer, you basically had to sit right in front of it. Computers were giant, room-sized boxes that couldn't talk to each other. Researchers wanted to find a way to time share, allowing multiple people to use one computer's brain power from different locations.
So it was just about saving time? That sounds way too practical for something this revolutionary.
It started practical, but it got radical when the U.S. Department of Defense got involved through DARPA. They funded researchers in the US, UK, and France to solve a huge problem. How do you send data through a network that might get partially destroyed, say in a war? If one wire cuts, does the whole thing die?
I'm guessing the answer was packet switching. I've heard that term thrown around in tech circles like it's magic.
It basically is. Instead of sending a whole file in one big chunk, which is easy to block or lose, packet switching breaks data into tiny envelopes. These envelopes take different routes through the network and reassemble at the destination. It made the network indestructible because the data could just route around any broken parts.
Okay, so the military builds this sturdy web called ARPANET. But how does my grandma's iPad connect to a server in Paris using military tech from the 70s?
That's thanks to Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn. In the mid-70s, they developed the Internet Protocol Suite, or TCP/IP. Think of it as a universal language. It didn't matter if you were a government supercomputer or a university workstation. If you spoke TCP/IP, you could join the club.
So the internet is actually the name of the language they're all speaking, not the wires themselves?
Exactly. By 1983, every network on the ARPANET had to switch to these protocols. That's the official birthday of the internet. Once everyone spoke the same language, the network of networks exploded. It moved from military labs to universities, and eventually to the public.
But the early internet wasn't what we see now. It was all text and code, right? When did it start looking like, well, a place you'd actually want to visit?
You're thinking of the World Wide Web, which people often confuse with the internet. The internet is the tracks and the engines. The web is just one very popular train running on those tracks. Tim Berners-Lee invented the web in 1989, adding websites and links, and that's when the floodgates opened.
And once those gates opened, it basically ate every other form of media alive. Newspapers, radio, TV, it's all just content on the web now.
It's a total transformation. Think about the traditional way of doing things. You bought a paper newspaper, now you have news aggregators. You went to a travel agent, now you have booking sites. Even the way we buy socks has moved from brick and mortar stores to massive digital marketplaces that span the entire planet.
It's not just shopping, though. It's changed how we actually relate to other people. I can argue with someone in Tokyo while I'm standing in a grocery line in Ohio.
Exactly. It accelerated personal interaction through instant messaging and social media, but it also rewired the backbone of the economy. Supply chains are now managed in real time. Financial services move trillions of dollars in milliseconds. If the internet goes down for a day, the global economy doesn't just slow down, it hits a brick wall.
That brings me back to my first question. If it's this vital, who is keeping the lights on? Who stops the internet from just breaking?
This is the beauty of its design. No one is in charge, yet everyone is. There's no president of the internet. Instead, you have groups like ICANN, which manages IP addresses and domain names, basically the internet's phone book. Then you have the Internet Engineering Task Force, a nonprofit that handles the technical standards.
So it's a giant global group project where everyone just agrees to follow the same rules?
Pretty much. Each individual network, whether it's a big internet service provider or a small university, sets its own internal policies. They just agree to link up at the edges. It's the ultimate collaborative achievement of the human race.
It feels like we've reached a point where we can't even imagine a world without it. It's like trying to imagine a world without gravity.
It has become a fundamental human requirement. It's moved from electronic wires to wireless signals and optical fibers that carry light. It's the infrastructure for almost everything we do, from working to dating to governing.
It's a lot to take in. If you had to boil down this entire sprawling web into one takeaway, what's the one thing to remember about the internet?
The internet is not a single thing or a place, but a shared set of rules that allows every computer on Earth to behave as one single, interconnected organism.
That's Wikipodia, every story on demand. Search your next topic at wikipodia.ai